guys, welcome back for another speed build. I'm Kayla, trying a voiceover today, and I also have a wedding venue for you guys. I did this completely without any reference pictures from Pinterest. Literally, this came straight from my head. I had so much fun making this, and I love the way it turned out. Also, as you guys can tell, I have the new pack, and I love it. I haven't done any gameplay with it yet. I've heard it's pretty buggy. I haven't had any problems in, build mode. Actually, I kind of lied. I had some problems with, the spandrels that I'm putting on top to make like a trellis. They kept disappearing, and then when I would try to add them back, they wouldn't stay. Like I would click and then they would just disappear. But other than that, I think the stuff that we got with this pack looks phenomenal. I think they did a good job. Some of the flower pieces that we got with this are beautiful. They have one that has like a trailing leaves and flowers that I used a bunch in this build. You'll see it, trust me. But I think it looks great. The flower bouquets are nice. I'm impressed with the pack overall. For the build today, I did a courtyard-esque type thing where your ceremony will go right in the middle of the build. And then in the back, there is a bar, food tables, there is a dance floor, a DJ booth. I set up 2 different areas where your Sims can have their pictures taken, and there's a wedding arch in one, and then the other one has a pergola. You guys would like that. Also for you guys, I didn't stack this build with a bunch of tables and chairs that your Sims wouldn't use. Like I didn't want there to be a bunch of empty seats during your ceremony. I've seen on some speed builds where people are putting like 50 chairs. Your Sims can only have, I think, 15 guests at a wedding. So I didn't want to crowd the build with a bunch of stuff that was just going to be empty. So here I'm just trying to figure out the roofing. In this build too, I used a lot of neutral colors. I was really going for a elegant type wedding. Like I really so badly wanted to put string lights in on this build, but I fought the urge. Not that I'm saying that string lights aren't elegant or classy. I just wanted this to be very sophisticated wedding venue. I guess so sophisticated that they didn't need a bathroom. So in the screenshots in the end, you'll see that I didn't have a bathroom. I had to go back in and add a bathroom. And what I did was to the right side of this build is that second pergola for like picture taking and stuff. I did it on the other side. So I added a bathroom over there for your Sims to go to the bathroom, because I've noticed anytime you have a bar, you definitely need a bathroom in the Sim. That was another thing that I noticed when I was in build mode. When I went to set this as a wedding venue, there was no requirements for the lot. And so I think that is something that may be one of the buggier things in the build mode, but it said I needed like 28 wall hangings. I apologize if you can hear my cat in the background. She must have got locked in a room somewhere, but she's literally screaming, but we'll get her out when we're done. I also lost some footage for when I was doing the landscaping for this build. So you'll have to see that in the screenshots, but it turned out really good. I added a pond and some swans and a fountain, and here's some of the landscaping that I've done. I also kind of boxed in the back to make it look like they were on a cliff. I built this lot in Brindleton Bay, and I think it fits perfectly. Right now I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put the pond at, and then that's when I decided I was going to do like a little deck area off the side of that ceremony spot. And I'm just kind of putting down the foundation to put the pond. Now, those chairs are actually from Debug, and they are so cute, but they're not usable. I tried to even size down some chairs you'll see later on in a build and put them under it, and I ended up having to get rid of them because that wouldn't work. So here I'm just trying to furnish the back of the wedding venue. I add some of those barrels, a bar, those champagne bottles, my trailing flowers, of course, and I love that bar back. I think it's so pretty. And a wedding sign that has like their names on it, I'm guessing. These 2-tier tables, I'm guessing, is the top you can put some more champagne bottles or you can do your wedding cake. Now I'm just trying to fill in the dance area, and I had the idea to hang these little frillies off the DJ booth, and I wasn't liking how it turned out, so I actually ended up getting rid of that and adding the brown one from Get Together. Guys, but I love Get Together. That's probably one of my favorite packs. That and cats and dogs. But let me know down in the comments what your favorite packs are. Well, I was originally just gonna do like the small pond over there off that decking area, and that's when I decided I wanted to make a bigger pond area and make the back of this build look kind of like it was on a cliff. And there is where I end up putting the bathrooms in at the end. I didn't have anywhere else to put them, and I was going to use some of the bathrooms that we have from City Living, and I was going to use the one from Cats and Dogs, but I did not think it looked very good, and so that's when I put it over there off the side of the build. And here's where I'm adding in those rocks to make it look like it's on a cliff, kind of, and I thought that was kind of cute. And I also added some more to kind of fill it in off camera, but you'll see that in the screenshots. So the lighting for this build looks the best in the evening. I'm trying to add in some of the lights to make it look nicer when it's darker, like nighttime. And like I said, the best time would be evening because you get that natural light right down there in the center, and then you still have it for the back. This build at night is lit up with fireflies, and I've got 2 swans in the pond. And I used some of these, they're in the debug, but they're from Joey Escapes, and they're what they use to light up the slopes. And I used that on this build at night, and it looks really cool. It's a little yellow, but it looks fine. So this is actually my first voiceover, and I appreciate it if you guys are still hanging in with me. But I promise I'll try and get better. I'm sorry too about the spinning of the camera. I'm working on that too. So next I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do at the back of the build. The way it was laid out made it kind of awkward to figure anything out. But I just kind of changed the tables around. I tried to figure out what colors I wanted to use. I was going to make a table for gifts. I just didn't like the way that it turned out. I don't like the color swatches for the gifts. So I ended up taking that out. I can't remember if I cut that out or if I left it in. And then I just start pulling out some stuff that I know I'm going to put on top of my tables. Now, once I was doing my screenshots, the tables still looked bare, even though I put the water bottles on top and the flowers. I found some debug greenery from, I think, Island Living, and it looked really cute, but I added some candles, and then I spaced out the greenery so it was long with the tables. This is where I was talking about the gift table that I end up not keeping. I want to start focusing on the seating arrangements for the guests. So I ended up using 2 of the long tables for 6 people each. So this wedding venue will hold 12 guests, maybe more. I think I might have added a couple more seats in the ceremony section, but this pack came with these tables. And if you look closely at it, the white cloth on it is like sheer, and it is so pretty against that light wood. And these chairs, like the backing of them, have a rattan cane pattern on them, and I am obsessed. I don't know why, but I am. It's bad. Next, I think I go on to doing like some of the decorations on the outside, like the pond and my fireflies, and maybe a little bit of landscaping. I do add a fountain. I don't think I did it there. And I think it looks really good. And I love these wall candles that we got with this pack. I thought that would be perfect there. And of course, we need more champagne. And you can never have too many flowers. And here I think I just started running out of ideas. So I was just trying to find some things to set on the decking area that wouldn't look cluttered and nice and clean, but still give them places to sit. This is where I pulled out those debug chairs, and they would not work. So I tried to size down those chairs, and when I play tested it, they just couldn't get to them. So here I moved the DJ booth to the other side, and I used the awnings that we got in the pack. But later on, when I was getting my screenshots, I noticed that the rain was breaking the electronic part of the DJ booth. So I had to go in later and redo the awning. So for this build, I did want a full kitchen just in case you wanted to bring in your own food or have a caterer. I love the way this kitchen turned out. It is so rustic. I actually even bought the kitchen kit for this build. Don't tell my husband. But it almost has like a Tuscan feel to it. I used the kitchen kit oven and the refrigerator, the sink, and then I just kind of played around with some of the decorations. I think I end up moving that wine, for the fridge. And then next I move on over to the other side of the kitchen where I have like a little seating area, just a quiet place for Sims to get away. And then all it has is plant, a mirror, and 2 couches, and I think that's it. But I just wanted a place for them to come and sit down that wasn't full with music or, just kind of a quiet spot to relax. And for the entry, I ended up using another wedding sign, a vase, and I added some of that greenery from Island Living there too. So this is where I'm doing that makeshift fireplace, and I'm just kind of trying to space them out. And I had to go into live mode to get them to light, but it's raining right now in live mode, and my DJ booth ended up breaking. So I do end up adding a awning over that, but the fireplace, I just used tool mod to lower it and resize it. And then I put these wood bookcases on there to make it look like it was catching fire, because I didn't like the way it looked against the gravel, but I think it turned out really good. I set the flames so that they would come on automatically, and I resized them so small that you wouldn't be able to see them, but whenever anybody comes outside, they should light on their own. Ended up pulling those 2 rocks apart and putting in a 3rd rock. I also added in a bunch of small rocks on the bottom of it, and later on, I think I end up adding like a little bit of greenery and flowers to them. But now I'm just kind of starting to mess with the landscaping and a little bit more of the terrain. Now, this is where I realized that my DJ booth broke from the rain, and I was so hoping that those new pergolas that we got with the sheer from the wedding pack would help keep that stuff dry. It didn't. It just made mine. And I ended up changing the columns and the border piece of the roof to white. And then I moved those. I just make it a little bit bigger so it looks more centered. And so that's our little DJ booth, and it is tested. I did test it. I tested the whole build, and everything works fine, 100%. I'm done messing with that. I end up moving on over to the spots where I set up the cameras to take pictures. I use my trailing, there it is, flower piece, and then I used some of the candle lanterns, and then I used the wedding sign again. I did use the tripod and the camera from Machino Stuff Pack on both of the photo areas. I think I end up adding another flower too on the right side next to the sign. Yep. Now for the second area, I was going to use this pergola with the flowers on it. It was too much. I think I end up using the one from Jungle Adventure maybe, but I thought it looked a little bit nicer, and I love that fence from Strangerville. And I actually think that pergola I end up using actually came from Island Living. I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyways, I just end up using another one of my favorite flowers, and I think that was all I put on there. Maybe a hanging fern, but I can't remember. And for now and the rest of the build, I just kind of bounce back and forth to areas that I think look bare or I think need something changed. I love the way the entrance to this worked out. I put a little glass ceiling over the top so you would get that natural light in there. And I sized down these trees to make them look like bushes. I can't remember who I saw do that, but if I could remember, I would definitely give them credit, but I do that all the time now. But like I said, now I just kind of start bouncing around to what I think looks bare, or if I think anything needs improvement, I'll go ahead and add it. I add those bathrooms, I add that fountain. You'll see the rest in the screenshots that are right on their way. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.